Welcome to qavvalidation.com. So in this video we will see how we can use the logging for Protractor. Okay, so before going into the logging thing, I will let you know how to print into the console. Okay, so this is my project that we have seen in our previous video. So let me open this. So here this is my test. So where I am running my test. So what I will do here. So first thing, let me change here to, I want to maximize this so that you can see it properly. Okay. And okay, let it be Firefox. Okay. So here, so I have done one thing, browser.getTitle. Okay. So which will return me the title of that project or the application under test that I'm automating. Okay, so here let's try it this way. So console dot write, sorry, log, and then here what I will do, so browser title. Okay, so here what I will do, I'll put browser dot get title. Okay, and this is a method, and then put a semicolon. Okay, now let me open the terminal. Okay, and let me quickly traverse to the WebDriver manager and then start. Okay, so server is up and running. Let me create a new terminal and then say npm test. Okay, so it is running the test successfully. Okay, so but here you will see one thing here, the it's not actually throwing error, but it's not giving me the proper response either. Okay, the console.log, what it is telling, browser title, that is my own string, and then browser.get title, what it is telling, promise status is pending. Now this is, if you observed the first video of my channel, the Protractor series, in that the WebDriver J is basically following a promise. The promise means that it has to complete the queue, I mean the job queue, and then it will give you that response. What exactly this means, so when I am putting browser.getTitle, so directly it won't what you call print that browser.getTitle into the log, because it will wait up to completion of the whole script, and then it will go into this console.log. Okay, so promise is basically it will complete all the task in the queue, and then it will give you the result. Okay, so for that we have to change this console.log into a different format. So let me give you that. So what I will do, I'll create a variable here. So let's say browser title equal to browser.getTitle. Okay, so I'm printing this way, and then what I will do here, so browser title dot then. Okay, it means that once you get the browser title, then you perform this action. So what it will do, it will complete all the task, and then once the control will get the title, that is all your job is completed from that queue, and then it will give you that result. So here then is a method actually here. So here function, you have to give a variable name here. So let's say text here. And so after that, what it will do here, you have to, here you can type it. So here console dot log, here what you can say, you can copy paste this text now. Okay, now let's see how it is happening. So what I've done, so what I did, I got that browser title, and then what I'm doing, I'm throwing that browser title into a variable. And then here actually this is not browser.getTitle, rather I have to give that variable, okay, where it will return me that promise. I'm capturing that promise here and then printing that one. Okay, so let's run this test. So it is executing. Okay, so now here you can see browser title equal to super calculator. Okay, now the promise is resolved actually here. How we have resolved? By using the then function here. So whatever you want to print, so let's say you want to print a particular elements get text, so you have to do the same way. So that particular element dot get text dot then, and then you have to print that. So you have to create a variable, and then that variable will become your the required value. So here you can put a semicolon, so like that. So this is the way you can print it into a console. But there are times where you want to keep the history. So console, so let's say if I want to run it again, then the console will go off, and then new, what you call, new situation will come into that console. So sometimes you want to keep that logging into a file, or else into a, what you call, in a structured manner. So for that we have to use some kind of loggers. Okay, so as you know, the protractor is a node module, so we have installed, right, by using npm install protractor. So it's basically a node package. So there are several loggers are available for the node packages. So from that, log4j.s is one of them, so which I found kind of interesting to use that. So today I will show you how to use the logger for protractor by using log4j.s. Okay, so the basic installation is npm install log4j. So I'm not going to install that. We will use the easiest format that we have learned from our first video. So what I will do here, I'll give like this log4j, and then I'll give the version. I think that is 3.0.1, 3.0.1. Now what I will do here, npm install. So what it will do, whatever versions are mentioned with respect to these libraries, it will install them. Okay, so it is installed. So now let's see quickly if it is installed or not from the node modules. So here you can see log4j. Okay, so like that. So okay, so this is the way you can install the log4j. So now for the log4j.s to work, we need two files. One is your JSON file, which will give, which will specify all where exactly the logging, the loggers should log, okay, the messages or whatever the message you want to send it. And another will be, you have to configure that, or you have to load that JSON file, and then you can access that log, and you can write whatever you want. Okay, so we'll do one by one. So what I will do, first thing, I'll create a new folder here. So let me give as config. Under this I'll create a new file. Okay, so let's give it as log4j.s .json. Okay, so in this I have to mention the, what you call, the JSON format, whatever the, so we call it as a appenders. Okay, so if you have worked with any unit for the CSAP, then you will know appender. So there we use app.config file, and then we use certain appenders which will determine where exactly your loggings or the logger files should be residing. Okay, so I have already the loggers, so let me copy paste that. Okay, So here let me explain you. So here first thing is that appenders. So you have to specify how many appenders you have. So for now I have only two. One is console appender, which will uh, the type is console. It means that it will print into the console. So Log4j is meant for both if you want to print it to a file, or else you can even print it to your output as well. So here console, I have assigned a category to that. You can give whatever your convenient name. So I have given console. Another is file. So here category, I have given some category name here, and then type is file. So here type is console because I want to print it to the console. Here it is type is file, so I have to give the file path where exactly I need to store the messages. And here some kind of patterns I have given. You can come to know from that log4j site. Okay, whatever the patterns are available for that. And this is maximum log size, you can ignore that as well, that is optional. And then I have a category here. Okay, so here appenders we have already set. Now categories. So categories are basically whether you want to print both into the console or file, or else only to file, that you have to mention here. So here default means I am giving both console and file. If it is only file, then it will only print it to the file only. It will skip the console messages. Okay, so this is basically your JSON file. Now the next thing you need to configure is your the configuration. You have to load this JSON. So for that, what I will do, log4j config, and then what I will do, I'll create a TS file here. Now here what you need to do, you need to load that particular file. So for that, what I will do, I will use the concept of exporting or creating a module. So basically what I'm going to do here, I'll create a class and a method, and then that method I will call in each of my test to print into the log file. Okay, so what I will do, export. So this is a keyword for TypeScript. If you want to export that particular class or the method to another file. Okay. So here class, and then I'll give the same name only, log4j config. Okay. And here what I will do, I'll write that particular method. So I'm not going to create an instance for that, so I'm making that function or the method as static. So what I will do here, log, and then I will return any. So this is basically the return type because I'm going to return that log after loading the JSON file. Okay, so what I can do here, where log4j, I'm creating a variable which will require the log4j. Okay, log4j, and then what I will do, I will load that. So log4j dot configure. So it's not giving, so you can type it your own, configure. Okay, and here I will give that path of that. So where exactly this one, config, under config you have log for js dot json. Okay, so this is my file path. So here I am basically loading that. Now what I will do, you can either use where or let as well, so doesn't matter, equal to. So here what I will do, log4j dot get logger. So here you can, here exactly the category concept is coming, what I was telling in this JSON file. So here I have two categories, right? One is default, one is file. So what I can do here, I can mention as file, so it will print into the file only, and I will return this log. Okay, so if you are giving file, then it will only print it to the your file. If you are giving default, then it will print into the console and also into your log. Okay, so this is basically my module is set already. Now here what I will do, So I'll print the same thing only. Now what I will do, I will import that. So there I have exported. Now here I will import that. Now here log4j.s config, where it is. So this is basically my config folder, right? Config folder is basically after specs, right? So what I will do, double dot, it means that I'm going back to my original or the project folder, and here I will get the config. Okay, and then under config I have this one. Okay, so now here what I will do, so here log4j.s, I'm not going to create a new object because I made that as static. So when you put as dot, you will see this log. This is a method. Okay, dot debug. And here what you can do, you can print this one, the same text only. I will give a space here, and then okay, so this is the way. So now what we have done, we have set the JSON file with respect to your console and the file appender with the file path. Okay, and then I have set a category. Default means it will print both into the console and file means only to file only, and the label is debug only. And what I have done, I have created a new TS file which will export that particular method so that I can use. So it's basically a static method so that I can use in any of my test to put the log message. Okay, so here I have a calculator.ts. So if you have any other ts files, let's say test case 1 2 3 dot, so what you can do, you have to mention this import and then you can directly access this. Okay, so now let's run this test and see if it is printing into a log file. So here there is no log file got created. Okay, so if you see where exactly it should be, it should be under your log underscore file dot log. Okay, so npm test, it should invoke the browser. Okay, so it invoked your browser and it ran the test. Okay, so it's giving me some failure. Let's see what is that failure. Okay, so it is telling no such file or directory. So let's see where exactly it should be. Okay, I've done a mistake. I should give a slash here. So again run, and hopefully this will log the message, and it opened the browser. Okay, so here you can see the browser title. This is basically my console.log. This is not exactly the logger, but if I go to the log underscore file.log, before it was not there, now it got created. So if I click on this, you can see that. So it is giving me the pattern format, and then debug is my label that I have set in my JSON file. File is my, what you call, the category, and then browser title equal to this super calculator. Now this is the way if you want to log it to into a file. So let's say I will make it as, so come to this ts file, and here what I will do, default, and let's try. So you need not to change that particular, what you call, this logger, because that is the only reason I have made this file, so that whatever the settings you have to do, you have to do here. You need not to change every time your test files. Okay, so now let's again run this file test, and it should invoke the browser. Okay, open the URL, run the test. Okay, so here you can see, so it printed default because before the category was file, now it is default. And now I should have another entry to this log file. See here, default. So default means it will print both into your console and also to your logger file. So now the benefit of this is that, so sometimes you don't want to debug it, you just want to run it for faster running. So that time you can put the log so that you can see what how exactly your test ran step by step, that you can see by using this. So this is quite helpful if you have a framework setup, so that directly you can take this JSON file and take this TS file, and then you can get started with. Okay, so this is what I found one of the easiest way that you can what you call integrate with your project. Okay, so I hope this will help you to extend your capabilities of your framework. Okay, so that's all I had to show for today. Thanks for watching and do subscribe. Thank you.